With its beautiful beaches and biking and walking trails, Fort De Soto Park in Pinellas County, it's one of the most popular destinations.
And today, Fox 13 photojournalist Mike Hughes is giving us a historical look that many people may not know about the fort.
Fort De Soto is kind of like paradise tucked away in suburbia. I mean, no one really knows that this place exists except for the locals. My name is Chris Merlin, and welcome to Fort De Soto Park. Most generally, people come to Fort De Soto to come to the beach, which is we are famous for. But there are other amenities here at the park, I said, that people seem to overlook. One is being our fort, which is a historical fort, and in 1977 was added to the historical register. There is a historic area. We said we have a museum. We also have an area that back behind us, you'll see the historic areas where all the buildings, the barracks, the housing, the storerooms, everything was staged at that point. And people just really don't know that the fort is here. They drive by it, they see it, and they continue on to go to the beach. Fort De Soto started back in 1849 when the U.S. Army engineers were looking for coastal islands to provide coastal defense. Unfortunately, when the Civil War broke out, no fortifications ever built. In 1889, that was when the Spanish-American War was starting to break out with Cuba. And at that point, they started construction on Mullet Key for the battery. And May of 1900, the fort was completed, and it was that point it was dedicated as Fort De Soto Park in name of Hernando de Soto. When the World War II broke out, the federal government came back. It was deemed that they were going to take the island back and use it as a bombing range for MacDill. And at that point, Fort De Soto again became a military outpost, only as a subpost for MacDill. Shortly after World War II, Pinellas County bought the park back from the Department of Defense, and at that point they decided to build it into a park. The biggest landmark that we have would be is called Battery Lidley, which is where the mortar cannons are. You know, at one point when the fort was built, there were 8 cannons. Now we are only down to 4 that we have actual cannons here. What we're currently in is what we call the Quartermaster Museum. This is to simulate the actual building that used to be here back in the day when the fort was active. This is where the supplies were kept for the soldiers that were here on the fort. In this case here, this is a case that was when the military was using actual Fort De Soto as a bombing range. That's one of the practice bombs that they used to use. Some of the armament and shells that were found out here in the park for when they were doing strafing runs. Some of this artifacts that are in here is actually from when the military was here. This is what people were using at that time. Well, Fort De Soto for a lot of folks is a destination. You know, we have a lot of amenities that our park patrons, thoroughly enjoy. But what they sometimes forget to see because they're so focused on going to the beach is, the actual historical fact of this, reason why this island is here. We would invite you to come to Fort De Soto, not only just to enjoy the beach, but to also enjoy the history aspect that we have to offer.
That was a nice peaceful break, wasn't it? If you feel like diving into the history of Fort De Soto for yourself, you can figure out where to begin by visiting PinellasCounty.org.